As we've been reporting, negotiators for the U.S. and Iran are set to gather this weekend in Pakistan's capital for peace talks. But the fragile ceasefire is at risk if both sides can't come to an agreement over Lebanon and Hezbollah. CBS News senior foreign correspondent Elizabeth Palmer has the details.
We're getting conflicting signals from Iran on the eve of these talks. On the one hand, Iran has said that the supreme leader, whom we haven't seen but nevertheless appears to have sent a message that his blessing is on the talks. In other words, they can go ahead. Also, Iran has announced the head negotiators, the foreign minister and the former mayor of Tehran and speaker of Iran's parliament, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, a very tough-nosed Revolutionary Guard affiliated hardliner. So Iran looks as if it's in pole position to get going. But Mr. Ghalibaf has tweeted that there are two obstacles in the way, and if they're not met, Iran is just not going to show up at the talks. One is the one we know about already, that Iran is demanding that Israel stop its attacks on Hezbollah in Lebanon. But Mr. Ghalibaf has ordered another one. He's saying also the U.S. has to release some frozen funds that it's holding that do belong to Iran. So it's probably an even bet at the moment whether by morning there's intense diplomatic negotiation enough to resolve these two things to allow the Iranians to go ahead, or these talks will be stillborn. They will simply never get going, and Vice President Vance and the American team will have to fly home. After that, would there be a resumption of the war? It's completely unknown at this stage, but a high-stakes evening for sure. Back to you.
Elizabeth Palmer, thank you. Let's bring in CBS News national security contributor Sam Vinograd. So Pakistan hosts talks, Sam, between the U.S. and Iran tomorrow. The U.S. is supposed to. The U.S. will host talks between Israel and Lebanon next week. What are the objectives in one versus the other?
Well, the objectives in the talks with Lebanon, which will be the United States, Israel, and Lebanon speaking, are to try to get to some kind of an agreement on a ceasefire, Lindsay. However, the problem is that the key party on the Lebanese side of the conflict, Hezbollah, is not represented in those talks. Hezbollah and the Lebanese government are not onto one of the same things. So that's problematic. With respect to the talks tomorrow between the U.S. and Iran, there are real questions about what specifically the U.S. objectives for the talks are. Is it the Iranian nuclear program? Is it reopening the Strait of Hormuz? Is it Iran's ballistic missile program, or more? There's a lot of possibilities. And what the U.S. core objectives are unknown at this time. We know what the Iranians are. They issued a very public 10-point plan a few days ago.
President Trump says his warships are ready to fire if these talks fail. How much leverage does that give him?
I don't think it gives him a whole lot. Right now, I do think the Iranians have the upper hand because of their control of the Strait of Hormuz, but it does point to the fact that despite the fact that this ceasefire is in place, the U.S. government is still spending billions of dollars over the course of the last few days just to keep force posture in the region in place. I just don't think it's a huge source of leverage at this time because the Iranians have not yet really responded to overwhelming military pressure.
Is the regime still intact?
New leadership of the pre-existing regime is intact, and the system of governance, guardianship of the jurist, in which you have a supreme leader ruling over the rest of the country, is still intact. The regime is intact. It lost key leaders, but it's intact.
Sam Vinograd, thank you.
Thanks.